It's the late noughts and the position of Speaker is available. Remind us, how was the position of Speaker perceived at the time? Why did he run? Who were his proponents? And where did he get his support from in Parliament?
Sure. So the Speaker's role has always been to be seen but not heard, to be impartial, to oversee the debates in the chamber and facilitate them to make sure they can operate and run, and also to be a bastion and champion of the House of Commons as an institution, both outside and sort of within it. So that's the role of a Speaker. Now, the incumbent was a man called Michael Martin, who was formerly a Labour MP. When you're a Speaker, you renounce your political affiliation. And before him, it was Betty Boothroyd, who was also a Labour politician. Now, Michael Martin was, like Bercow, from very humble beginnings. He was from Glasgow, I believe, quite a tough and rough area of Glasgow. And but he was never one to grapple with executive overreach or to champion the House of Commons and stick up for backbenchers. He's a lovely man, and he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was not a particularly good Speaker of the Commons. Now, Bercow decided he was going to run in about 2005 when he realised that his future in the Conservative Party was done, really. You know, there's no ladder for him to climb. There's nothing available to him because of his relationship with David Cameron. And he quickly realised that to win the speakership, he would need to rely on the votes of opposition parties, because the Conservative Party, for various reasons, not many MPs liked him at all. The reason they didn't like him was because he was very, very critical of their party. There were lots of rumours about him potentially defecting to the Labour Party. And as I said earlier, he doesn't have the best interpersonal skills. So along the way, he had alienated a few people. So he decided to, understandably, because he was trying to win a campaign, to focus on Labour MPs and MPs from other parties. So he would do things like send notes to MPs after they did speeches in the Commons, praising them for their articulation and their argument and what have you. And he very much went on something of a crusade to win over their votes. And it was one of the most effective campaigns of modern times, really, in terms of British politics. And the speakership contest came about because Michael Martin resigned after the expenses scandal hit the UK Parliament. Now, the expenses scandal, for your listeners, was obviously probably the biggest story of that period of time, wasn't it? It was massive, and it basically showed MPs had been excessive with claiming for all sorts of different things. It was very damaging to the reputation of Parliament, and Michael Martin fell on his sword as a result. So Bercow had spent the previous 4 years laying the groundwork for a speakership campaign. His campaign was then led by a Labour MP called Martin Salter. And the rules dictated you need 12 to 15 nominees to stand for the speakership. So that's 12 to 15 members of Parliament, 3 of which have to be from an opposition party. Now, the irony for Bercow was that that was no problem. He just needed to try and find someone on his own side to nominate him. So he only managed to get one person, who was Charles